Hello, TopFanRivalry followers on a Friday. It's Jackson, it's Bill. You know what we're doing. We're doing the weekly review. Without further ado, Jackson, how the heck are you?
Uh, I'm hanging in there. No Braves baseball since last Sunday. MLB, help change this. I shouldn't have to wait this long, but tomorrow at long last, the Braves will play in a playoff game.
Yeah, yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Phillies will sweep them 3 games. I mean, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Whoa, wait a second. My bad. I'm on the wrong episode here. Well, what am I saying? What am I saying? Who knows? So tell me, what are your thoughts about this week?
Uh, you know, I if you want my real take, I think the wild card round's kind of pointless.
Whoa,
It
whoa,
was,
whoa.
it was fun. It was fun, but look, 4 2 game sweeps. Like, come on.
Well, listen, listen. It goes to prove that it doesn't matter how you finish the season out. Everybody starts at zero. I mean, would have you taken the Texas Rangers on paper over the Tampa Bay Rays, who won 99 games? Of course not.
I would have, yes.
Yeah. I'm 4-0, by the way, in the playoffs. I'm 4-0. I called the Brewers getting manhandled, especially since Woodruff was going to be out for the playoffs. I called Arizona running all over them. I called Texas winning. I called Minnesota, who, by the way, was 18-9 in September, to stay hot.
By the
Um,
way, Minnesota is now 2-0 in the playoffs against teams not named the Yankees in
yeah.
the last 20 years.
And what did they do? What were they chanting down the hall yesterday?
I didn't hear about this. What were they chanting?
We want Houston.
Oh, don't. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's what I said, dude. I'm like, dude, you're talking about the World Series champions. The defending World Series champion. No, let's not poke the bear. Let's not poke the bear.
You mean the guys that have won the American League Championship Series like 5 times in the past 7 years? You don't
Yep.
want those guys.
No, no, you don't. But you know what? Whatever. You do what you're gonna do. Okay.
Yeah. But I guess my official number one is shout out to the Twins. I thought the Twins played really nice baseball. I caught a bit of their games. They played really good defense, pitched really well, and that you know they may want Houston, but we'll see how it goes. Houston's a really good team, but I think the Twins might match up well. So I think it should be a fun series.
It will be a fun series, and they will match up well with Houston. But there's still a lot of baseball to play. My number one is something that I've seen a number of times with the Dodgers, and I saw it I saw it yesterday. I'm sorry, what's today? Friday. So I saw it Wednesday and I saw it Tuesday. The Tampa Bay Rays played tight. They were so nervous after winning 99 games that they get knocked out of the playoffs, and they played tight. They made a lot of mental mistakes in game one. In game two, when Garcia, aka El Bombi, hit the home run to break open the 0-0 tie, it was like they were just mentally checked out. They played very, very tight. I don't know, Jackson, if you watched either one of those games, but tell me I'm wrong.
I caught a bit of game one, and it did seem kind of like Tampa Bay was pressing,
Mhm.
which is interesting because they're usually known for being kind of the scrappy guys that makes the other team press. Texas just looked like they were, they got in, they were ready to go, whereas Tampa Bay, maybe seemed a little frustrated that they had to play in the wild card round at all.
Very true. Very true. Very true. It was interesting. It was interesting. Okay, so what do you say for number two?
Uh, Number two, uh, you know, heading into the offseason, one of the teams that might be, kicking themselves a little bit more, other than Tampa Bay, might be the other AL East team, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Mhm.
They came up short against the Twins. Their hitting looked anemic, which is really funny considering some of the names they have in that lineup. With George Springer, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got picked off a second base in a critical moment, and you really kind of got to wonder, if come the offseason there might be some big changes because all year they just kind of looked on and off, not really in sync, and they got into the playoffs and were promptly bounced. So it'll be an interesting thing to watch. I think Toronto is going to be one of the more interesting teams in the offseason because they got some big decisions to make, especially on the pitching side, uh, to improve their team. But better luck next time, Toronto.
Mhm, mhm. Agreed. Agreed. Very well said. And I'm going to come back to what you said for my number three, but my number two is exactly what I've been saying. Get them on, get them over, get them in. Thank you, Arizona Diamondbacks, for proving my point. Arizona in game one was trying to run all over Baltimore, or all over Milwaukee, and they weren't successful as much, but they were putting Milwaukee on their heels. And my biggest fear about this coming series with the Dodgers is the Dodgers don't know how to hold runners on. And it's
Yeah.
not Will Smith's fault. When the guy's dusting himself off after sliding into second before the ball gets to home plate, that's not on Will Smith. I mean, you got to hold guys on. And Corbin Carroll and those boys over there, man, they were running and they got thrown out a couple of times, but they put pressure on the defense. And so again, you have to play, get them on, get them over, get them in. Forget about the 5-run home run. Yes, Bryson Stout hit a grand salami on Wednesday in Philadelphia, but that's few and far between. You got to play the little ball. Jackson, tell me again. Tell me, am I wrong here when it comes to the
Uh,
playoffs?
I think there's two schools of thinking. I mean,
Okay.
the get them on, get them over, get them in is a very I think it breaks the other team more to score that way because you can kind of chip away and it kind of eats at their morale more. Whereas a homer's just a bad pitch. You can kind of shake it off sometimes. But you got to remember, Bill. I think it's over the past 10 years. Teams that have out homered the opposition in the playoffs have won 80% of the time. So we can't discount the home run ball.
I didn't
But
say that.
yeah, I wasn't insinuating that you're like no home runs, but can't discount the long ball. But I think small ball is a very excellent way to put, like you said, put pressure on teams because it's all about forcing the other team to make a play in the postseason. You
So
need to,
here's
you
the
do,
thing. Here's the thing. The long ball happens because of the small ball. And let me defend
yes.
my statement.
I was just about to say that
Okay, good.
when you
Okay,
put the
tell me.
ball in play, when you put the ball in play, good things happen.
Yeah. Well,
For the
if I'm
offense.
a pitcher and I'm holding a runner on, in the last two innings I've seen these guys move. Now I'm paying more attention to the guy on first, sometimes than I am the guy at the plate. And then I throw something up to the plate that gets knocked around. So it's dangerous. Like you can make mistakes because you're you're not focusing on what you need to focus in on.
Or you're trying to outsmart the runner with the slide step or something because you think he's
Yeah,
going. And a lot of the times, you see pitchers on the slide step, they'll leave some, a breaking pitch up or an off speed pitch up, and it gets hammered, or they pull it and it's a wild pitch. So I
preach.
think I think the small ball is going to be, especially in this next round, you're going to see some teams. Arizona's one of them. I think Baltimore is another one. Atlanta's got some guys with some speed. Philadelphia's got some guys with speed. We're going to see a lot of running in the LDS.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna build up to those moments like you said where you're gonna chip away, and then break the back with the home run after rallying and stealing a couple of bags. So
Yeah, no, it just again that I overanalyze baseball, and Jackson, I could have picked apart. So I watched the Arizona Milwaukee series, and there was a time where Milwaukee, I think it was Corbin Carroll tried to steal second base, and it was a perfect throw, and he barely got tagged out. And then the next inning, they had first and second, and the lead runner tried to steal third, and they threw him out. But the next inning is when Arizona started scoring because now the pitcher's thinking, oh crap, if I get these guys on, they're going to start running on me.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
natural.
and running into an out on the base pass isn't necessarily a bad thing
Nope.
given the right situation. It's situational baseball.
Yep.
Don't get thrown out at third with two two outs. Don't get thrown out at third with nobody out.
Preach. Preach.
It's situational awareness baseball, and in the playoffs, a lot of times you get one guy on. That's the only guy you get on all inning. You might as well get him in motion and try to make something happen.
Yep.
Because if you don't make something happen, you're not going to get that momentum that's going to allow you to win the game. it's nice if you have a guy if you had a guy that had 1,000 on base percentage but did nothing else. He was the slowest man alive. He'd
Mhm.
be useless. He'd just be on base. They wouldn't care. Free double play, right?
Exactly. 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 So okay, so that's my number two. What do you got for number three?
Number three, I think to watch this weekend is watch the teams coming off the bye. A lot of the
Ooh,
rhetoric last year was how those teams started slowly, except for Houston. It's game one's a big one. Uh, you know, I think this year the schedule's been a little bit more favorable to those teams coming off the bye, where game one you're going to get the number three starter of all the other teams, and then game two you might get their ace. So I think that's something to watch for. There has been talks. I know Atlanta and the Dodgers have been playing simulated games as kind of a change up from last postseason. So it'll be interesting to see if the different kinds of preparation benefit or will the time off hurt them. I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either. Um, so let me add to that. Do you know who's going to win it all this year?
The team that outscores the opponent.
You know how they're going to do that?
How are they going to do that, Bill?
They're going to do that. The team that makes the least amount of mental mistakes is the team that wins. Let me give you an example, not to pick on the Diamondbacks. I mean, sorry, not to pick on the Rays, but in game one on Tuesday, the Rays center fielder, so you had first and second, right? The Rays center fielder tries to go up and catch a ball and it bounces in front of him and it pops out of his glove. He goes to scoop it up, pops it out of his glove, and he sees the runner that was on first trying to go to third because he didn't break right away. And he, instead of hitting the cutoff man, he had no chance to get the guy at third. Instead of hitting the cutoff man, he threw it into the dugout. So the runner and Corey Seager was the batter, and so he was already on second. So Corey Seager gets awarded third. The runner from first that was now on third gets awarded home, and the runner on second had already scored. So you gave up 2 runs instead of one and put a runner on third with nobody out. That is an example of a mental mistake trying to do too much. And there's been a number of those, and those teams are out. You mentioned Vladimir Guerrero's pickoff. Oh, for the love of everything decent and holy, Vlad, what are you doing? You are not the lead runner. You are the runner on second. There's a runner on third. There's 2 outs. Okay. What
There's
are
there,
you doing?
there
And George,
there's
go
nobody
ahead.
behind you either. So why are you even thinking about getting a good secondary lead?
So for those of you that didn't see this, 2 outs, second and third. Vlad's on second base. It's the sixth inning. Minnesota's up 2-0. Okay. And Carlos Correa played it perfect. The pitch before Carlos Correa kind of snuck in, and Vlad was kind of sort of paying attention, but he wasn't really. And Carlos Correa read that like a book and said, "Watch this. Somebody hold my caffeine free Coke. I'm going to pick this guy off." And so Carlos Correa came in, saw daylight, broke the way he's supposed to, signaled the pitcher. The pitcher knew exactly when to throw it and threw a strike. And Vlad tried to do one of those Javier Baez slides with one hand and go around the bag. Problem is, Javier Baez is 130 pounds dripping wet. Vladimir Guerrero's 500 pounds dripping wet. So, I mean, there was no way Vlad was going to. And first thing Vlad pops up and does is, points. Go review it. Dude, you're out. You're out. You were out by 2.5 steps. And so and I was texting with somebody that's a huge Minnesota fan that was at the game. And I said to this person, I said, of the 60,000 fans that are there and all the staff and all the security, and there's 65,000 people, their teams, locker room attendants, everything like that. That guy is the loneliest guy in the stadium right now, Vladimir Guerrero. But that mental mistake shifted the entire course of that game because Toronto had him on their heels.
No,
And
absolutely. Bo Bichette's their best contact hitter. A very good chance of scoring 2 runs right there.
yeah, and you tie the game up. You tie the game up. And so the team that makes the least amount of physical mistakes are going to happen, Jackson. You and I both know the ball's going to, you're going to charge a bunt and you might throw it away because you're hustling too much or whatever. but physical mistakes are going to happen. Mental mistakes cannot happen at this level at this time of the season.
Yeah, that was really well said. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same thing
I
happened in the Philadelphia Miami game in game two. It was 0-0 game. You get picked, John Birdie gets picked off a second with 2 outs.
yep,
It's like,
yep.
why are you even thinking about third base?
You're not. Now, if you're Corbin Carroll and you're on second base with 2 outs and you can run like the wind, try to take it. And if you get picked off at second, fine. Right?
The thing is, if you're that fast, you don't even need to think about it because any ball that gets through the infield, you're standing on home plate.
Correct.
You're not getting thrown out.
Correct. Correct. It drives me nuts. So when that ball sailed in, I don't know if you know the play I'm talking about in game one against or the Rays and Texas. Did you see that play?
I got home a little later, so no, I did not see that play.
So I was livid. I was actually at a restaurant and I was kind of hiding at the restaurant. I didn't tell anybody where I was at because it was first game of the playoffs. So I always do that.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there yelling at the TV, and the poor waitress is coming over to me. She's like, "Are you okay, sir?" And I'm like, "Leave me alone." No, it wasn't like that. But I was because what is the first thing that you learn how to do? Usually in little league, but definitely in high school, you read the situation, you hit your cutoff man, right? Period.
Your throw should go through the cutoff man
Yeah. And so
every
when
time.
you sell it into the dugout, so that's what 20 feet, 10 feet away from the third base, from third base on a line where your third baseman can't even jump and catch it, you airmailed that thing. And it's stuff like that, it's crap like that you just you can't bounce back. And people don't understand this. And I'll say this until I'm as blue as in the face as my shirt is right now, right? If you give up 3 runs or 4 runs in a game in the second inning of game 14 out of 162, who cares? At that point, you need to learn how to become. Now, you could miss the game, miss the playoffs by 1 game. The odds on that are not happening. It teaches you how to come back, it teaches you how to play from behind. You do that in a best of 3 series down by 1, not good. Not good. Not good because your season's coming over. So now you got a team that has 99 wins playing a team that has 90 wins that limped into the playoffs, and they just eliminated you. Thanks for the 99 wins. Enjoy your tea times. I'm sure they're all booked up in Tampa Bay now. So
Yeah.
good for you.
Well, I just remember something. Shout out to the Texas starting rotation for
Oh,
two
yeah.
masterful pitching performances. Same with Minnesota. So
You took my honorable mention. My honorable mention was Texas gave up 1 run in 18 innings. One
that's
freaking run.
well, that was after what Tampa Bay got shut out last year against Cleveland, didn't they?
Yeah.
In like 20 something innings. So
It's like Harry Doyle. What do we get? 1 hit, one gall darn hit. Yeah, they got 1 run in 18 innings. My word. Anyways, I'm Jackson. You know I'm passionate about this stuff, but it just I've been watching this. I'm almost 50 years old. I've been watching this game since I was 4, and it's not. And I'm not playing it at the level of these guys. Again, physical mistakes are going to happen. Mental mistakes should never happen at this level, this time of the season. Don't try to do
the,
too much because you're going to get
yeah,
eliminated.
these should be the best remaining 8 teams in baseball at this point.
Should be.
Should be. So,
But dot dot dot.
but and I think Major League Baseball is in a really unique position, stats wise, where you're going to see teams that are good teams that don't always have the best decision making.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you're right. It over this the course of a season, it's like you make enough mistakes to maybe you can escape by the skin of your teeth every once in a while. In the playoffs, you cannot give good teams extra outs, Bill.
Nope.
You cannot. You cannot give them extra base runners. You cannot give them extra outs because what do good teams do to you, Bill, when you do that?
They take advantage of it.
They turn a 1 run inning into a 6 run inning
And so
real
so
quick.
yeah, so let me talk to you a little bit about your team, Jackson. And I'll give you a perfect example. 1 through 6, maybe. You guys have all-stars up and down, 1 through 6. Okay. At any given time, Austin Riley can light it up. Obviously, we know what Ronald Acuna can do. We know what Matt Olson can do. You've got Eddie Rosario. We know what these guys can do. You make a mistake and you give an extra out to a team like Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, they're going to capitalize on
Oh
it. Period.
yeah,
End of
and
discussion, right?
yeah, I let me tell you, I watched enough Braves baseball games this year to see if a team didn't make a play or a pitcher, you know, was nibbling around, pitching around someone that always came back to bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always. And it's just how it works. And when the Braves play good teams, it's the same thing. It drives me crazy, to watch, guys trying to play hero ball in the playoffs. You can't play hero ball. You just have to, when you can, limit the damage and hit them back harder. It's like a boxing match almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Your only goal is to stay standing.
Exactly. Yeah, I just I mean, same thing for the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers had 100 wins this season, right? Um, if you're number 8 batter or number 9 batter, let's say you're the number 9 batter, right? And you fluff a play and it's, nobody's on, right? And you fluff a play, ground ball to the first or the third baseman, you overthrow the first baseman, the guy ends up on second. You got 2 outs in the inning, but guess what? Now you got Mookie Betts, and if you don't get Mookie Betts out, then you got Freddie Freeman. So you just rolled over that lineup to 2 first ballot Hall of Famers. You cannot give up extra outs. There's 3 outs in an inning, not 4 or 5.
Yeah. Like you got to look at postseason games as 27 outs. Teams are just trying to find 27 outs. If you give the other team 30 outs, you're going to lose every single time.
Yep. 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 And that includes being up big. I mean, so I'm texting with a Rangers fan yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not, gosh, what I get my days
Wednesday. Yeah.
was it Tuesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it
Too
was
too
the
long of
first
a
game.
layoff. Too long of a layoff, right, Bill?
I know. So I guess it was Tuesday, maybe. It was the first game. No, it was the second game, Wednesday. Anyways, it was one of the games, Wednesday, when they were up 7-0. I said to this Ranger fan, I'm texting them, and they said, "Oh, I've seen 8-run things." I'm like, "You have 9 outs to get, right? That you can give up an extra out if you need to, but don't do that. You have 9 outs to get. So just focus on getting 3 outs and getting back into the dugout as soon as you can. Then
And
focus on getting another 3 outs and getting back in the dugout. Focus on getting your last 3 outs. Get back in the freaking dugout." So yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Anyways, Jackson, do you have any honorable mentions?
honorable mentions. I mean, aside from the Texas pitching staff,
Hmm.
uh, shout out to Pablo Lopez for wearing the Johan Santana throwback Twins jersey. Both from Venezuela. I like it.
Okay.
And shout out to the Twins. First playoff series win since 2004. So it's
Yep.
good. I like seeing some variety once in a while.
I shout out to the Rangers for their pitching staff. We mentioned that. Shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies for doing what they did. Though you were playing the Miami Marlins, Miami Marlins deserved to be there. They had, they earned their place at the table. But shout out to what they did. And shout out to those, I already said the Diamondbacks. But when you look at the other game besides for those three, I mean, the Twins did what they needed to do and they stayed hot. And Carlos Correa is so excited. And I've texted with 2 Astro fans and said, "He's your boy, right?" And I said, "Are you going to boo him when he gets up to bat?" And they go, "Absolutely." So right now, he's not their boy. So when you watch tomorrow, when they get to the juice box tomorrow, Carlos Correa is getting booed. Now, next April or May or whenever Minnesota gets back into town, they're not going to boo him. But right now, they're going to boo him. So, yeah. Anyways, Jackson, can you close this up?
Yeah, I mean, let's play out baseball, guys. So buckle up for this weekend. I know the schedule's a little weird for the National League, playing on Saturday and having an off day on Sunday, which is terrible, but we'll deal with it. But if thanks for joining us on our weekly review. We'll be back next week to maybe recap all the series. Maybe they'll be over, maybe they won't. Who knows? There might be some games next Saturday, pending if the National League Series go 5. I believe they'll be played on Saturday. That means the American League would play Friday. So maybe all the series will be over. Maybe they won't. But if you like this, there's more stuff like this on TopFanRivalry.com. That's why you're here. Use code Jackson. Get 10% off checkout at the team store. Get a nice jersey, get a hat, get ready for the postseason.
Get a
That's all
hat,
I'm going to
get
say.
ready for the postseason. We got new hats coming out here soon. We got new logos coming up. Jackson has yet to see the logos, but I need to send those over to him to see which ones he likes because we value Jackson's opinion. The also too, if you're listening to this Friday night tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have a very big announcement. The first of what Top Fan is hoping to do a number of times over the years. But we're not going to give it away now. Now, if you're listening to this and it's not Friday, okay, then go to the Top Fan Rivalry Instagram page and search back through the lives that we did. It will be recorded. It will be talking about an announcement. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jackson's going to be there. He said he'll sign autographs. Nobody asked me for my autograph because they know that it devalues the piece of paper that I'm writing on. But Jackson, they want his autograph, and we want to give Jackson's autographs out.
Yeah, come and get it. Guys, I filled out a questionnaire for the Yankees front office job the other day. Because Brian Cashman's probably getting fired, so I figured I'd take his job too.
Okay.
So,
Listen,
come
they
come
called
get
me.
an
I sent them
autograph.
a voicemail.
They called you. Is that?
Yeah, but I
That's
sent
why
them
they're
a
looking for
voicemail.
me.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, Jackson, thanks so much. Top Fan Rivalry followers, thank you for watching us. And we're excited. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. I'm sorry, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on X, the former Twitter, right? I hate that, but okay. Follow us there. And then Facebook, like us on Facebook too. We're all over the place. We got more stuff coming. So we're excited to have everybody there. Jackson, thanks for the time.
Yeah. See you guys next week.